Mostly now than ever, the topic of immigration in the United States is at an all-time high. This conversation is at a boiling point in the political spectrum, with both sides reaching further radicalization instead of thinking thoroughly and attempting to meet in the middle. However, we need to start over and look at this argument with an unbiased view and let the facts speak for themselves before we give an opinion. According to FWD, immigrants who have come here legally have contributed at least $2 trillion to the US GDP since recorded in 2016. Additionally, extra legal immigration to the country could fill around 9 to 10 million open jobs since an influx of labor shortage that has been going around since 2023. However, it is also true that bringing in extra millions of people would mean resources and mainly housing, a bigger issue than it is now already. This is not just seen in New York, but in places like El Paso, Denver, Seattle, Los Angeles, and other big cities which attract major immigrant traffic. It, on average, costs these cities $500 million in revenue yearly to supply immigrants even barely with just housing, and smaller cities paying around $250 million for housing, which in total cost between $120 billion a year to $140 billion a year on money for resources to immigrants and asylum seekers. Yet, understanding the basics on the positives and negatives of mainly legal immigrants coming to the United States does not explain why most immigrants come to the US illegally. There is no easy or fast way to get legal status here in the United States. The process of citizenship takes, if not years, decades. To be able to be eligible to legally immigrate to the US, you must fall under their 4 sectors of eligibility. Either you have a sponsor, family, or employer who fills a petition on your behalf, you enter a diversity lottery, or you come to the US seeking asylum. In any of these cases, you must be willing to wait a long time, since most of these cases have backlogs of around 5 years or more depending on which country you are coming from. So the issue is not the unwillingness of immigrants applying for a legal avenue to the United States. The fact is that there are just a few options, if any options at all, to come to the US legally. What we need to do as a country is to fix these systems and improve the waiting times. We first need to concentrate on fixing the USCIS, which is responsible for approving and looking over immigration cases. There's always a high volume of applications, usually millions yearly. And so there are so many factors for approval, it takes longer to view applications and approve or deny them. As of 2025, only 22,500 individuals work for the USCIS, and these people cannot work through millions of applications in enough time for people to get them back appropriately. This could be solved extremely quickly through the use of computer automation and through funding and expansion of the USCIS and its employees. This could fix a majority of the migration crisis if we got to doing it. Obviously, it is easier said than done, and yes, it would most likely take billions of dollars to get this done, but the revenue and influx of workers, doctors, and all sorts of professions into the US would completely outnumber the cost to profit margin. Building borders and funding border patrol agencies will not get rid of any immigration crisis. It is a temporary fix that eventually will do absolutely nothing. We need to fix the systems in place that are stopping immigrants from coming to the United States, even if they want to come through legally. We should still have a border in place to keep our country safe, but this border should not bar good people from coming through and making their dream life a reality.